Hello and welcome to this Fitch Learning segment on the cash flow statement. A very brief overview of the structure of a cash flow statement. The cash flow statement, where do we start? You can start with something like operating profit or net profit, doesn't really matter. We adjust for the non-cash items that went through the income statement. That's the first thing we adjust for, and we subtotal that to the funds from operations. The key non-cash item, by the way, that goes through the income statement is the depreciation and amortization charge. So that's usually the largest one that gets added back. That gets subtotaled to funds from operations, and then we take into account the change in net working capital. We give this a special section because it is very important to see how well a company manages the net working capital. These are the receivables, the inventory, the payables, and the accruals. We net those numbers against the funds from operations, and we'll end up with the cash flow from operations. So the first section of the cash flow statement is the cash generated by the day-to-day operations of the company. The second section is what do they do with that cash, the investing activities. So this is capital expenditure, asset sales, acquisition of subsidiaries, or sale of subsidiaries. This can be a big use of cash. It could also be a source of cash. We subtotal that against the cash from operations. If there's a deficit, if they've spent more than they've earned in cash that year, we then say, well, how did they finance that? That's a very natural thing to do. So the final third section is the financing activities. And this is where we could tell if they've raised more debt, if they've raised equity, if they've paid a dividend to their shareholders at the same time. And the netting of all these numbers reconciles back to the change in cash that we've observed on the balance sheet, that net change in cash from one year to the other. So the three sections of the cash flow statement: cash from operations, investing activities, financing activities. Thank you.